Today I am reorganizing my bookshelf. I have a lot of books and a lot of books that I haven't read. Actually, I think most of the books, unfortunately, on my shelf I have not read, and that's not okay. That is extreme consumerism. My issue is I will go read a book at the library, check out a book at the library, or read a book on my Kindle before I actually read a book that I already own. The issue isn't not reading books at all, so I'm going to be reorganizing my shelf, and on top of that, I'm going to be possibly creating a to-be-read list of books that I already own. So I have my to-be-read list on Goodreads of all the books that I want to read, and most of them are books that I don't own. But I want to create a list of books that has all the books that I already own on it that I want to read. So we're going to do that as I'm organizing my shelf. So first off, I want to start off with the top shelf right here. This is where I actually keep most of my Christian books, my Bibles, Bible study books, and then just biblical type of books on the top shelf. The crazy thing is I actually have a lot of those that I bought and haven't read, or people gave them to me and I still haven't read them yet. And so those are like on the top of my list because those are really important to me and I really need to get better at reading those books. So we're gonna start with those. This is Having a Merry Heart in a Martha World by Joanna Weaver. I actually started this book and didn't finish it, which is the case for a lot of books that I own. So actually, I think I might add this to my to-be-read list of books that I own right now. I don't want to go over 10 books because I already have a list of books already on my Goodreads. So I'm trying to keep this one at a minimum because it already hurts trying to read books that I already own because I want so badly to, like, I don't know what it is, but it's like the rush of going out, buying a new book, or going to the library, checking out a new book, or even scrolling on my Kindle, finding a new book to read when the books on my shelf are literally like, please pick me. Like, they just want my attention. And so I don't know, I'm gonna keep it at a minimum. 10 books at max for now. So this one might be my first book, maybe. I think so, yeah. Okay, we're moving a little too slow for my liking, so I'm gonna speed this up. I might just skip to the next row. I just moved, so I'm trying to remember, like, this is my biblical Christian Bible study shelf. I think this one was like my Black history, critical theory type shelf. So I think I'm going to kind of skip forward to that one. It might run back over to some Christian books because my box is a little crazy, a little mixed up. So I'm still seeing Christian books on the top of my box, so I'm actually going to keep going with these. I think I actually want this to be the second book on my to be read list because I've been looking at this book a lot on my shelf and then I don't read it. But this is Everyday Supernatural by Joanne Moody. I think reading about her testimony is really interesting, so I'm going to be adding this to my list. It doesn't seem that crazy, not that long, so yeah. I've actually already read this book, but I just wanted to give it a shout out because it is so good. This is Reese Howell's Intercessor, The Story of a Life Lived for God by Norman Grubb. This story changed my life so much. and the way that I think about prayer and praying for others and interceding for others. So if you're interested in that, strengthening your prayer life for yourself, and just because you want to pray for your loved ones or just anyone that God has called you to believe in prayer for, read this book. I don't know. When I first started reading it, I was like, this sounds kind of boring. But I don't know what it was. My whole mind, it was just mind-boggling how strong Rees Howells was, but mainly because of his faith in Jesus Christ and his believing that his strength comes from God. And so, if that's an interesting topic to you, or if you just love reading Christian books, I suggest this book. I read this, and I might actually read it again, but I want to save my third spot for books that I haven't read yet. So this was just a shout out if you're interested. So I'm getting a little deeper in my box of books. I'm already seeing quite a few books that I haven't read yet. So this one is actually my mom's book, and I don't think she's realized that it's gone. So sorry, Mom, for taking your books. She knows that I take her books, but I usually give them back, especially since I've moved. I've given most of them back, but I guess this one I have not given back. I think this is her book, or maybe I bought myself a copy. Sometimes I'll buy myself a copy of a book that I like that she owns, so that I'm not like stealing her books. But anyways, this is Faces at the Bottom of the Well by Derek Bell, The Permanence of Racism. Books like this, I don't put it off because I'm like, I don't want to read about that. I put it off because they're very heavy topics. I often find myself, when I'm reading these books, it's hard for me to like consistently read it. So if I'm reading something like this, I'll read a few chapters and I'll put it down for like weeks and then I'll come back because I'm just like, it's so heavy on your emotions. And it's very necessary reading, but yeah. This is on my to-be-read list, finally, because it's been years, actually. I've owned this book for a really long time. This will be my third book. Okay, well, before I put this book on my shelf, I have a crazy surprise that I haven't noticed. So my book is signed by Derek Bell. That's cool. So this is, where is this book? I think it was written in, looks like 1992. I don't know, I could be wrong, but wow, that's really cool. I have a signed copy. It does say to, I can't read the name, but something K. Berry. To K. Berry, Derek Bell. So I have a signed copy. Fourth book on my list. I saw this and I immediately was like, I have to read this. I read the first few pages of this book, which is my problem. I don't know what it is. I do that a lot, and then I don't go back to the book. But it's not because this is a bad book. I think I was just busy and I got distracted. But this book is Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto by Tricia Hersey, founder of the NAP Ministry. I follow her on Instagram, and she has been doing amazing work advocating for the rest of our bodies, how we need to take time to rest, whether that's mental rest, physical rest. All of it is important for our daily lives, because especially for Black people, we have issues like hypertension and all these things because of overworking our bodies, whether it's at a job or whatever the issue may be. But she goes way deeper than that. Like, this is very important information. So this will be my fourth book, and I've been wanting to read this. I like this quote: "Essential. Rest is a necessary step in reclaiming our power to resist systemic oppression," by Ibram X. Kendi, author of How to Be an Anti-Racist and Stamped from the Beginning. So I will be reading this. So I don't know how I'm going to incorporate this list into my already to-be-read list right now, maybe I'll just take a pause from that list, because that's kind of like my list of books that I'll be reading throughout the year, which I can easily slip these 10 books into that list. Like, I actually want to start reading these pretty soon. Probably once I finish the book that I'm reading right now, which is A Pavilion of Women by Pearl S. Buck. Really enjoying that book. It stressed me out a lot, but I'm almost done. So that will probably be my last book that I'm reading until I start this list of books, because this is very important. I have to read these books because I either bought them or someone gave them to me, and I just feel like they're just sitting here. I need to read them. We're starting off strong, which makes me scared, because that means my list is probably gonna get filled up before I finish clearing out my boxes. I have 2 boxes of books. But anyways, this is my 5th book. This is Dilla Time, The Life and Afterlife of the Hip Hop Producer, one of the greatest hip hop producers of all time, J Dilla. I've been wanting to read this book. Where did I even get this? Was this book free? I don't even know. Sometimes I can't remember. I feel like, or maybe I got it from thrift books, because there is a stain on the book cover. But this book is very important to me because I love J Dilla, Doom, Questlove, like producers. Like, their music speaks to me. I can just listen to instrumental beats a lot. Just, I don't know why. But anyways, I really want to read about his life. So I will be reading this book. And I highly suggest you read this book too, if you're into that. Even if you're not into that and you're just curious, read it. Okay, so I had to move on to the floor. We have our 6th book. We have Having a Merry Heart in a Martha World, Everyday Supernatural, Faces at the Bottom of the Well, Rest is Resistant, and Dilla Time. So those are my first 5 books, which I'm actually thinking I might switch. So this is my 6th book, but I actually want to make this my first book, because I saw this and I was like, wait, I want to read that like right now. So this is Giving is the Good Life by Randy Alcorn. This book I actually got for free from my church. This book is about living a life of giving and not constantly taking and consuming and constantly caring about yourself. This I want to read. I'm excited. This is actually going to be before Having a Merry Heart in a Martha World. So this is going on top of that. My 7th book is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. I've had this book for quite some time. I actually bought it from Barnes & Noble one random day on my lunch break. I didn't even know that this was a popular book. Like, whenever I'm on YouTube and I'm watching someone's book haul or book they've read before, this is like oftentimes there, and I noticed that after buying the book. So I was like, oh, must be a good book. So I'm gonna read it, and I'm excited to read it. This will be my 7th book. Next book that I'm going to be reading, I actually just realized none of the books in this stack are fiction, which is interesting because I actually read a lot of nonfiction, but in the past year, I've been trying to dive deeper into fiction because I'm a nonfiction junkie, but I'm trying to have some fun. I'm trying to be less serious, and I want to read. Not saying that fiction is not serious, because the 3, maybe mostly 2 that I have right now are very serious, and they very much apply to real life issues. So my next fiction is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. I actually read this in college, but I need to reread it. It must be reread. Okay, before my camera dies again, this is my 9th book. I've been wanting to read this book. This is 1984 by George Orwell. I'm very excited. So right off the bat, I like reading the back sometimes. I know some people, they avoid reading extra stuff about the book, but I like to read it sometimes. person says, but let the reader beware, 1984 is more than a satire of totalitarian barbarism. It means us too, says Eric Fromm in his afterword. It is not merely a political novel, but also a diagnosis of the deepest alienation in the mind of organization man. Number 9. And lastly, before my camera dies, this is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Psychological thriller, which I'm getting into because I haven't been reading those in the past. So very excited about this one. It's about a group of young people in college that they're like misfits. They create their own way of thinking, but it turns bad real fast. It turns bad, and I'm assuming they make a lot of bad decisions that can be very detrimental to themselves and the people around them. So last book that I'll be reading. These books, they're not in like a permanent order, but just know that this is definitely my next read, my first read. So read along with me. You can add me on Goodreads if you want to. I literally only have 2 friends on Goodreads, so you can add me there. And yeah, these are my books, my to-be-read books of books that I own.